Who is Filip Jorgensen? Well, in this video, it is my job to make sure you all know a bit more about Filip Jorgensen. At least that's how I think you say his name. But anyway, let's get straight into the video. So starting off with the player profile, Filip Jorgensen. He plays for Villarreal. That is the only team he's been so far in his career. He's obviously 22 years old, so very young, goalkeeper, known for his ball distribution. That is why Chelsea are so adamant into getting this player over the likes of Sanchez and Petrovic, who we have at the club. He stands at 6'3", so for a goalkeeper, it's not tall, it's not short. It's good. It's a good height for your goalkeeper, right? And obviously, position is a goalkeeper, of course. And obviously, Jorgensen was born and raised in Sweden, coming in and out of Malmö's academy, which you may know from Zlatan Ibrahimovic. That's a club he played for as a child. But anyways, that was before finding his way into Villarreal's academy and then eventually breaking into the senior team. Now, like I said before, the main reason Chelsea are in for this player is his ball distribution. He's said to be good at with his ball distribution, and beyond that, he's said to be a solid keeper. But of course, we need to test that theory and see just how good he is with its ball distribution. So, not just ball distribution, let's check his whole stats to see how he compares to a world-class goalkeeper. He also plays in the La Liga for Barcelona, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Now, keep in mind, this is a 22-year-old young prospect and a world-class player who's in his 30s right now, right? So, obviously, the stats are in favour of the world-class player. Of course it is. And I'm not trying to compare them, but I just want to see the levels in between them, like what Jorgensen is missing out on, what he needs to improve on, what he excels at perhaps. Does he have any world-class abilities? But let's see. Let's find out. So in front of you should be seeing a graph of statistics. The blue is going to be Filip Jorgensen and the red, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. So starting off the clean sheets, obviously you can see Jorgensen has 6 clean sheets compared to Marc Stegen's 15. So big difference. However, let's not forget, one plays for Barcelona, the other plays for Villarreal. Obviously, the two of them are probably top 6 clubs in Spain, but there is still a difference between them. Villarreal is not nowhere near Barcelona's level in terms of ability, even currently as well. So let's not dig too deep into the clean sheets, as it is mainly a team, a sort of statistic, right, with the defenders and such. Let's go into the passes per game, ball distribution. Now, this is what we want. This is what us Chelsea fans want to know. How good is he? Now, as you can see, ter Stegen is a better ball player, but he only averages about 4 passes more. Now, that's not considerable, but if you look all the way to the end, to possession loss, which obviously is important when you're talking about ball distribution, how much do you lose the ball as well? Well, as you can see, Jorgensen loses the ball more. Now, for me, this is a bit of like, well, Marc Stegen isn't known for his ball distribution. You know what I mean? Of course, he's good at it. He's good at a lot of things, but you'd think shot stopping is Marc-Andre ter Stegen's strong point. Now, with that in mind, I was expecting Jorgensen to have at least the same or very similar. But as you can see here, Marc Stegen definitely is a better ball distributor. Now, I'd like to infer that as obviously Jorgensen being very young and obviously something that he can improve on, right? So let's ignore that for now, but let's see how well he fares in shot stopping and etc. Now, saves per game, Jorgensen actually has more saves than Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Now, obviously, ter Stegen missed a few games this season, but I'm pretty sure, played more than half of the season. So you'd like to think that Jorgensen gets troubled more because of the lack of probably defenders that Villarreal has. He's obviously in more trouble than ter Stegen, so he has to work harder, which makes sense why his clean sheets are so low. Then you see goals conceded per game. Jorgensen concedes more to ter Stegen, but of course, as we saw, Jorgensen makes more saves. So obviously, that proves that Jorgensen is in more trouble and ter Stegen is more fortunate with the shots against him, right? But then you see goals prevented as well. Jorgensen is in the negatives. Now, a negative goals prevented might worry you, but if you look at a lot of talented goalkeepers, a lot of good goalkeepers, especially this season even, including David Raya, obviously the Golden Glove winner in the Premier League, he had a great season. However, his goals prevented was horrendous. I believe it was somewhere about 2 or 3 goals prevented, negative, of course, negative 2 or 3. So obviously not great in that, but it's obviously other aspects of his game was incredible, and his overall performances was good enough for Arsenal. So honestly, don't let that worry you. Now, as you can see there, goals prevented from Ter Stegen. Obviously he was barely positive as well. So and he's a world-class keeper. So take that into mind. Now, penalties prevented, they both had 0. Jorgensen had 6 penalties. He couldn't save one. Ter Stegen had, I think, 4 or 2, and he couldn't save either anyways. But yes, that's it for the statistics. So you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. Has this brought any ideas to your mind? Do you think is Jorgensen better or worse than you thought he was? I'm genuinely curious. Let me know in the comments, please. But personally, I was expecting a tiny bit better. Of course, I haven't compared him to other players like Petrovic or Sanchez, which maybe I should have, but I didn't want to, change the leagues, right? Because obviously the Premier League is more difficult. Different team, different country. Come on, it's completely different. So I wanted to keep it in the same nation, and obviously this was the best way to do that. Compare him against a great goalkeeper in Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Now, for a quick minute, let's talk about Jorgensen. Should we buy him? Should Chelsea buy this talented young goalkeeper? Honestly, I'm not too sure. Obviously, we have 3 goalkeepers right now that are competent: Kepa, Sanchez, and Petrovic. I think Petrovic was solid. I think he started off great. The middle part, he was slacking off a bit for a couple games, and then at the end of the season, he came back strong, and Chelsea went on a run. So I think Petrovic, I do want him to stay at the club. I think give him some time to develop, progress. I don't know, maybe he becomes a great goalkeeper. You don't know with goalkeepers, honestly. Goalkeepers are very special to any position. The progression with them is like, you usually get what you have from them at a young age. Like if a goalkeeper's 24, I mean, other than some tactical and athletic and stuff like that, you don't really change as a player. But I mean, again, they also have drastic changes. I mean, I don't think nobody thought Oblak would be a great keeper at 24, and now you see him at 34 or whatever other age he is, and he's just a top 5 goalkeeper, right? I mean, again, as well, Courtois, I mean, now he's the best goalkeeper in the world, but 10 years ago, he wasn't top 3. Was he? I don't think he was. That's why Chelsea sold him. But look, I'm straying from my point. What I'm trying to say here is that Jorgensen, Petrovic, Sanchez, even maybe, these players all have the potential to turn into world-class goalkeepers. You just don't, but you can't tell with these things. It's very difficult. But from the evidence that I have seen, I think getting Jorgensen for a cheap price of 20 million, which is 20 million pounds, I think that's what we're hearing. But to wrap it up, guys, I think if Enzo Maresca has seen Jorgensen, he's been impressed more than Sanchez and Petrovic, I think that's fair enough to go and get him then. Again, for 20 million, it's not a huge fee. I'm happy with a young goalkeeper who may turn out to be a great player. Obviously, I'm not sure if he's going to be that great, but that's just my personal opinion. Not charged by pretty much anything. It's just my opinion on him, just for no reason, absolutely no reason. I mean, it's not professional, I know, but I don't know. Something about him for me just says he's not going to be world class, but he could be great. But I just don't see him as Chelsea's number 1 for many years. So yeah, let's just wait and see, guys. That is it for this video. Let me know if you want me to look at any of the players in the future, and I'll see you next week.